Hey guys, it's Bobby. Thanks for tuning in this week for the Media Bites. This week on the show, Kim Kardashian goes to the DNC, but it doesn't quite go as planned. The Toronto International Film Festival is in full swing, and Vladimir Putin is a certified badass. But first, have you ever threatened to assassinate the president on Twitter? Because if you're interested, here's how to get in trouble in 140 characters or fewer. Alyssa Douglas, a high school girl from the Cincinnati area, sent out a tweet just a few hours before President Barack Obama's convention speech saying, and I quote, "Someone needs to assassinate Obama like ASAP." Perhaps it was a real threat, perhaps it wasn't. But if that was the case, the legal consequences would likely be dire, especially since a Charlotte area man was arrested just a few days earlier for tweeting that he wanted to assassinate President Obama too. More likely, though, it was simply the unconsidered words of a teenager with easy access to social media. If that was the case, the consequences may still be significant. Douglas's name spread across the internet, and by 4 p.m. the next day, the name Alyssa Douglas, combined with assassination, resulted in 5,000 Google hits. At the very least, the Secret Service took the threat seriously. Mark Porter, special agent in charge at the Cincinnati field office, said the agency investigates all threats, including ones made on social media, and reported its findings to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Ohio. Clinton Massie school district officials also had a meeting with Douglas and her parents on Friday morning. Ouch. Good luck finding a job after that. Well, speaking of politics and the DNC, the convention was a big success in Charlotte, North Carolina, but you can't have a convention without Kim Kardashian hosting the after party. The question, though, is whether her after party fiasco is the first sign of a failing star or just bad timing. Kim Kardashian's appearance at a Charlotte, North Carolina club Hush drew less than 50 people on a night that the country's attention was focused on the Democratic National Convention and the MTV Video Music Awards. The 31-year-old was flanked by fellow reality star and flower bombing victim Jonathan Cheban in a promotional appearance Thursday dubbed as the after party for the convention, which was also held in Charlotte. She cryptically tweeted, "It's that kind of night," and linked to a shot of a half-full or half-empty drink glass. After 2 hours, she left the get-together, and sources on the scene said the house band's observation that "this place is empty" irked the reality star, as part of her income comes from club appearances. This can't be good for her image. Continuing our theme about reality television, TV producer and reality guru Mark Burnett and NBC Network are under fire this week for the new show Stars Earn Stripes. NBC's new reality series has drawn the ire of anti-war groups and Nobel laureates. Organizations that include Military Families Speak Out, Veterans for Peace, and Peace Action have united to call the show War-O-Tainment. In an open letter to the show's creators, the organizations recruited 9 Nobel Peace Prize winners, including Archbishop Desmond Tutu, to call for cancellation. The series is produced by Mark Burnett, himself a former member of the British Army's Parachute Regiment, and features a cast of celebrities who engage in military exercises under the tutelage of real-life veterans, including General Wesley Clark. Among the celebs are Todd Palin and Nick Lachey, and they vie to win $100,000 for a veteran or foundation of their choice. Some reviews have argued that the show unfairly sanitizes the gruesomeness of war and belittles the soldiers' experience to turn what they do into a competition. Worse, after merely one exercise, the celebrities already began talking about how they understand what soldiers have been through. For what it's worth, an NBC spokesman on Monday said that Stars Earn Stripes is about thanking the young Americans who are in harm's way every day. This show is not a glorification of war, but a glorification of service. We'll see about that. Russian President Vladimir Putin donned white overalls and big black goggles as he took to the skies over northern Siberia in a motorized hang glider to help endangered cranes begin their migration to wintering grounds in Iran and India. The motorized hang glider, in which he was accompanied by the seasoned pilot Igor Nikitin, proved a handful. Putin said it was harder to control than a jet fighter. And while he's a few days short of his 60th birthday, Putin has spent about a year and a half preparing for this trip with the cranes and received 17 hours of advanced tuition on the motorized hang glider. Wednesday's flight took place in Russia's far north by the banks of the Siberian River Ob at the site of a project that rears cranes in their traditional nesting grounds. The birds have almost been driven to extinction by hunters targeting them along their migration routes through Central Asia. After his flight, Putin donated the hang glider, which his press spokesman said he had purchased with his own money, to the Crane Conservation Project and shared fish soup and tea prepared over a campfire with the scientists working there, according to a Russian state-owned newspaper. The cranes will now remain under the supervision of the presidential administration, which already cultivates Putin's nature-loving credentials by assisting schemes dedicated to preserving polar bears, tigers, leopards, and whales in Russia. Vladimir Putin proving he's the biggest badass in the world. And that's this week's question of the week on TMB TV. Is Putin's hang gliding incident the coolest thing you've ever seen from a world leader? Tell us on Twitter, use the hashtag TMBTV, and we'll read the best responses on the show next week. One more thing about Vladimir Putin before we go. Shortly after the news of Putin's successful flight was reported by state media, the Kremlin-controlled English-language television channel Russia Today broadcast the president's first interview since winning his third term in March. Asked about the rock band Pussy Riot, Putin declined to comment on the severity of the 2-year sentence handed down to the 3 women for their punk prayer protest in Moscow's main cathedral, but instead chose to focus on the moral aspect of the case. In particular, he reminded viewers of the orgy performed by members of the radical art group Voina in Moscow's Biological Museum in 2008 to protest against the election of Dmitry Medvedev, who replaced Putin in the Kremlin for 4 years. Putin said, and I quote, "Group sex is better than one-on-one because, as in any sort of collective work, you can shirk off." Okay, Putin. That's it for the Media Bites this week. If you want to sound off on anything we covered on the show, just let us know. Follow us on Facebook or Twitter at The Media Bites. We'll be live Friday with another brand new podcast and a whole lot more that you're only going to find on themediabites.com. Until then, hey, I'm Bobby DeMuro, and I'm out of time. See you guys next week.